Commando Dreamin'. Had a very K dream last night. Thought y'all would get a kick out of this one. Me. Decided to go camping at a lake in a woods in an RV with Ma. Pa isn't in the picture for some reason. I guess it'd have to be work related. I should bring some guns to be safe. But what should I take? Decided to take a Desert Eagle and 50 AE. A full-frame revolver and 44 Magnum as backup, and a slightly smaller 357 revolver as a backup for the backup, which I'm pretty sure was a fucking MP412 Rex of all things. Pull up at the lakeside, get our stuff unpacked. It is at this point that I load the guns, not before leaving home. The 357 is missing. Whatevs. It's in one of our bags somewhere. I'll find it eventually. Most of the morning goes without incident. We raft around the lake a bit, then get ready to get grilling for lunch. At this point, heavy fog rolls in. Visibility is maybe 15 meters. Look up the trail from where the grill's been set near the RV, and that's when I see it. A grizzly bear and a wolf. Our dog, a husky, is distracting them both. Good boy. Used the distraction to fall back to a secondary campsite, which is where the raft dock is about maybe 15 or 20 meters from the RV, which is where I left my guns for some reason, instead of keeping them on my person. Fuck it, I care about my hearing and don't need all this ammo. So I pull a couple of rounds from the Desert Eagle and stuff them in my ears as makeshift earplugs. Upon returning to the RV, the bear is currently up in a tree next to the grill being harassed by Doggy, while Ma is wrestling with the wolf. Decide to go for the bear first since it's technically the bigger threat, and Ma is apparently badass enough to hold a wolf at bay by herself with zero concerns of being hurt. Dump half the mag of 50 AE into the bear's head. The thing flops out of the tree like a sack of potatoes. Transition targets. Press the muzzle into the side of the wolf and dump the rest of the mag, which the thing somehow tanks, but only barely. Ma literally throws it to the ground judo style. Draw 44 Magnum. Finish it with multiple headshots. Thanks to my quick thinking and superior firepower, the day is saved and nobody got hurt. Last thing I remember is looking for my 357 since I spent all my 50 AE and half of my 44. I fucking love my dreams sometimes, bros. I remember having a K dream once. Me, chilling at my parents' place. A helicopter lands in the driveway. Gang of operational operators jumps out. Hey Anon, we're putting a team together. You in? Hell yeah. Gotta get dressed though. Cue them standing around awkwardly, quietly exchanging stares, questioning their decisions as I fail to find my socks for like 15 minutes. Last thing I remember before waking up is not being able to get my plate carrier to fit. Most underwhelming dream ever, Desu. I've never had the infinite trigger pull dream before, but I have had one where someone broke into my house and I was trying to find him, but my weapon light had an approximate output of a mag light that's had the same batteries for 40 years. My friend group's Discord gave me a channel specifically to post my many unconscious machinations. Here's a paste of a few. I had a dream tonight I was being hunted and assassinated by the government for finding their hit list of civilian targets while on a plane following a botched political assassination. I had a dream where we boarded a cruise ship to go to the Bahamas that turned out to be a front for pirates betting on blood games using people they tricked on board. There was one game where you and an opponent would draw a card from a deck, and the drawn card would line up with corresponding method to harm the other guy. First one to pass out or die loses. Examples where a joker corresponds to a plastic knife across the wrist 4 or 5 times. A king of spades was similar but with a standard knife, and one of the very specific cards got you a 22. The better you did in the game, the more freedom on the ship you were given. Like eventually you were able to eat the good food in the buffets like the pirates and rich people betting, but you were being watched by everyone to make sure you didn't bring food and the like to the others. Funny enough, one of those games was Smash Bros. Melee where the loser gets executed. I had a dream where a non-friend and I were in what amounted to the Bahamas where we rented a new Cadillac Escalade to go around the place, finding, and I quote, "Dude, this thing is great. We gotta protect this treasure at all costs." upon finding how cold the AC blows and the all-wheel drive system. After a little tour around the place in the Escalade with one of the local tour guides, we meet up with a buddy at a KFC over the build your own biscuit deal to discuss how to get better yield of nuclear warheads. Had a dream where I went to a gun shop and bought a variation of the Cobra Red Dot for the RDB for like $500. Open emitter with a round reflector, but there was a dial on the back to change the reticle, and it had like a dozen different ones including some random meme setting. One where it was just a block, another that was a variation of a bass jack. I had a dream where Anon and I were at the gun shop with Anon, and multiple other people from our group. While Anon 1 and I were there to check stuff out, we found out everyone else was actually there to do gay pride protest / demonstration and didn't tell us. Anon 1 and I didn't find out until we met up with them and they suddenly formed a circle in the middle of the show and started cheering. Also, before that, Anon 1 and I saw an exchange between Ian McCullum and an obviously autistic girl explaining to her that she can't just handle the 150 plus years old antiques when she sees them. I had a dream where I could inhale and hold my breath to float and slowly exhale to descend. So Anon 1 and I start using that a metric ton. I'm then told while floating over Walmart shelves that apparently everyone knows how to do it, they just choose not to. Y'all boring as fuck, this trick is baller. Also Anon 1, your house's ceiling car head unit was not up to code. They just shove it into a hole in the wall and zip tie it to one of the studs. Currently floating through the head unit aisle in Walmart for a replacement. I had a dream where North Carolina and Georgia had seceded from the United States and joined the CCCP. The infuriating part was everyone acted like it was fine. Like I guess I didn't get the memo until I looked out my window and saw the flag replaced with a half American, half Chinese flag. Checked the news and one of the first things that was done was a no tolerance law for car law breaking. Like people with sporty cars will have it crushed if they are found to be speeding on freeways. The last thing I remember is considering being a part of the rebellion before waking up. I dream about nuclear war a lot. It's not something I'm afraid of anymore. But the last dream I had was pretty amusing. Being me, with my immediate family plus paternal grandparents. We're on vacation somewhere coastal, clear water, white sand beaches. For some reason, my wife is not with us, but my dad, stepmom, sisters, brother, and said grandparents. We arrive at a beach house we're renting, getting unpacked, unloading the boat from the trailer, etc. I'm kind of annoyed because a lot of the day was spent doing tedious errands when I could have been studying, chatting with my brother about my suppressor, but I'm interrupted by distant air raid sirens. Nobody knows what's happening. A nuclear attack. I tell everyone to get down, away from the windows. Moments later, incoming rockets. They're not flying on a ballistic trajectory. They're not even warheads that separated from the missiles. They are complete missiles coming towards the ground. The missiles are flying irregularly, tumbling, and also flying in cartoonishly slow, for an ICBM anyway, yawing about. A lot like the videos of failed space rocket launches. Still, the horizon lights up with several nuclear blasts. The booms get closer. I'm facing a corner face down, covering my head with my jacket. I say, "This is it, everyone. It was good knowing you," in a tone that didn't indicate immediate death. Bright flash, I wake up. I thought the end was funny because of how the missiles came in, but also how inappropriately I reacted. I've had similar dreams before, but they were usually a lot darker, usually revolving around the dilemma of whether me and my coworkers would abandon our duty to look after our families, or to help others. This was my K-dream from years ago. Me, randomly sent back in time to 1989. I know it's 1989 because my Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 tells me so. Apparently in 1989 Bongland, where I'm a native, was part of the United States somehow. Go to the USMC recruitment office and enlist. Boot camp goes by in a flash like a COD mission, but it took 2 years because once it's done, I get deployed to Operation Desert Shield. In the Saudi Arabian desert now. I dig a cozy little shell scrape next to an Abrams tank and chill for a bit. Suddenly get ordered to begin combat maneuvers. We have to storm Fallujah, which was a battle in the Second Gulf War, I know. I kick down a door. There's a man waiting on the other side with a PKM machine gun. Dream ends. I remember one a while back. Dark as fuck with a group outside and bumfuck nowhere in the woods. 2 to 3 armed people, with one of them being me. Half a dozen were unarmed. Don't know who any of these people were, but I had an SG-550, so it was sweet. Here's something like a helo approaching but can't see shit. Everyone seeks cover. Sounds like it's right above the group. Seems to pass over, so regroup and start moving. Moments later, spotlight right on us from high above. Oh shit, wake up. Can't say I know what prompted such a dream.
I'm in heaven. My heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find the happiness